Hey guys, my name is Elena. Welcome to Camper Banter. You can follow me on YouTube if you want to see the videos of my journey across the country in my air flight Shasta Rosalie, where we're going around and interviewing responsible local makers, businesses, artists, and musicians. And then I'm also just sharing my experience. And you can follow me on Instagram if you want to see the photos and get little snippets of what I'm doing. So today I want to talk about synchrodestiny because my entire trip has been synchrodestiny. I want to promote the local artist, and I want to talk about the 3 types of nature that I have been exposed to so far. So the local artist I want to promote is Dayna Walton. She goes under Solstice Handmade. You can find her on Instagram. She does a lot of nature. She's done a lot of work for other businesses that I've done. And so I'm actually wearing one of her pieces, one of her cowls right now, which you can see is fantastically and amazingly gorgeous and beautiful. And I chose this one because bats in shamanism are a symbol of death and rebirth. And so I feel like I'm in that transition of dying and leaving my old world and creating a whole new one. I'm really grateful that I am able to find my true self, be on the journey to find my true self by recreating myself into someone new. I'm really challenging myself on this trip as to beliefs that I always thought about myself, things that I could do, things that I loved doing. Like, where did these thoughts really come from? When did I decide that I loved morning coffee? Because I didn't drink morning coffee my whole life. So where did that come from? And, you know, I had Lyme disease for 15 years and I said, I'm never, ever going to be hiking again. Well, actually, I've never been hiking in the first place, which makes this a really awesome experience and totally new adventure. But I challenged myself and I said, you know what, it's been dormant for 8 years. I want to start hiking. I want to be in nature. I want to have that spirituality. And the 3 different types of nature I've been in. So the first time I went to a ranch in southern Georgia, and that was so freeing. I felt like my free spirit came out. I felt full. I felt filled. I felt whole. I felt magical. And these animals that I'm around are majestic. I open my window curtains and there are horses grazing outside of my window. There's open sky that with beautiful cloud formations, beautiful sunsets, and I just had free range over the entire ranch. So I could go interact with the animals, and animals are so innocent. They have their own little quirks and personalities, and you have this, you know, feeling of responsibility. You have a purpose. You need to take care of something now, and that is greater than yourself. And they're just so relaxed. It was a really beautiful place where I felt like my spirit could be boundless. And after a lot of anxiety in a relationship that wasn't really healthy for me, that was exactly what I needed. My second environment was going up to the Blue Ridge. It wasn't actually the Blue Ridge Mountains, although in Instagram I refer to it as the Blue Ridge Mountains, just because it's easier to explain it than be like, you know, have a paragraph and be like, oh, I was actually in a mountaintop that was as high as the Blue Mountains, but it was next to the Blue Mountains and I was overlooking the Blue Mountains. Like, that's too much to say. So I was in a mountain that was overlooking the Blue Mountains and Blue Ridge Mountains, and it was the same elevation. And mountains are also such a breath of fresh air, like that crisp air that, you know, the type of air that you feel like is cleansing. And mountains are so majestic. They're so massive. Like, how were they even created? And you go up there and there's fog and rolling hills. And I was able to do yoga at the top of one of the mountains. And that was also just a really spiritual connection. And now my third place where I'm at right now is a suburb in North Carolina. And I've been doing some hiking trails here. But it's very much like where I grew up in Connecticut, the trees are. So it's less exciting for me in terms of nature because I'm familiar with it, but very exciting for me with the people that I've met. So I'm actually with a family right now that I met when I was doing my experimental weekend down in southern Florida. They saw me doing a terrible job trying to back into my space, and they came rushing over to help me and give me all this knowledge and information, and they invited me to roast marshmallows with them and have burgers, and they had pancakes with me in the morning, and they invited me when I actually started my journey to come stay with them for a while. And now that I have stayed with them for a while, they've actually adopted me. So I am part of their family, and I always have a home here, even though I choose to sleep in Rosalie. And that feels so amazing. Everybody I've met on my trip is synchrodestiny, I truly believe, because I've meant to be with them. I've meant to learn the lessons from them. And when I went up to the mountains, I was with Linda, and we went for a walk, and she told me her life story, and it was exactly like mine. Up until this moment, when she was like 36 in her life, is when she met her partner, who was also an amazing guy. And it was really nice to see a healthy relationship, and believe that there are amazing men and women partners out there. So I'm wondering if that means I'm going to find my partner right now, whether that's a guy or a girl. I've been really fortunate enough to be asked on a lot of dates, so I've seen a lot of different personality types, and I'm starting to try to figure out what my values are, the type of qualities that I want to portray in myself and project, and find those healthy qualities in another person. And it's been really nice to get to know people and I don't discount anything, because the universe has its own course of action that it wants to take, and I don't really have control over that. But I think synchrodestiny comes from gratitude. So I have a spiritual practice every night. I write down 5 things throughout the day that I'm very grateful for. And when you have this attitude of gratitude, that sounds awesome to say, you notice throughout the day the abundant opportunities that are available to you. You see the positive in negative situations. And it feels like it was meant to be. You were meant to learn that lesson. You were meant to have that struggle, because that's going to take you to the next step. And those are the little miracles. And the question is what sort of synchrodestiny miracle has happened in your life that you have really seen the positive out of what seems like a negative situation? A really small example, my entire trip and my entire life has been synchrodestiny, and that's why on Camper Banter Instagram you see nothing but like positive, spiritual, my life is perfect, because I have an attitude of gratitude and my life feels like it right now. All the struggles are struggles. They're part of life. Nobody avoids them. When I was on the ranch, Layla heard thunder and she pissed on the bed. So I had to ask them if I could use their laundry machine. And it actually worked out, because I needed to, oh no, that was the other time. Oh yeah, we were living on a ranch and they smelled like horses, and I needed to do my bed sheets, but I didn't have a laundry place, so I just was letting the camper smell like horses. And so this gave me an opportunity to do my bed sheets, so I had a clean place when I left for North Carolina the next day. And then that happened again when I was in North Carolina. I got red ants all up in my camper, so I had to do laundry again, and it was perfect because I needed to see how much water was in my tank, and the only way to see that was to take off all the bedding and see what's underneath the compartment. And I, of course, was super lazy because I've been doing so much stuff, and I was just like, okay, well, there we go. That's that opportunity right there. So everything like that's been happening, and it's only been happening because of gratitude, because I'm asking my higher power to see life through a lens of gratitude and learn the lessons that are going to make me the person that the universe and my higher power has meant me to become. So that is my, journey so far. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.